Welcome back to City Point United Methodist Church Online and to our Holy Week videos. I hope you've been enjoying our devotionals. My name is Amy. I'm the Associate Pastor of City Point, and I will be coming to you once again from my dining room. Today is Good Friday, and I invite you to sit back, make yourselves comfortable, and just take a big deep breath as we take a little bit of time to spend in reflection and meditation with our God on this Good Friday 2020. They went to a place called Gethsemane, and Jesus said to his disciples, "Sit here while I pray." He took Peter, James, and John along with him, and he began to become deeply distressed and troubled. "My soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death," he explained. "Stay here and keep watch." Going a little farther, he fell to the ground and prayed that if possible, that he might have this hour passed from him. "Abba, Father," he cried, "everything is possible in you. Take this cup from me. And yet not what I will, but what you will." Then he returned to his disciples and found them sleeping. "Simon," he said to Peter, "are you asleep? Couldn't you keep watch for 1 hour? Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak." Once more he went away and prayed. And then when he came back once again, he found them still sleeping because their eyes were heavy. They did not know what to say to him. Returning the third time, he said to them, "Are you still sleeping and resting? Enough! The hour has come. Look, the Son of Man is delivered into the hands of sinners." Very early the next morning, the chief priest with the elders and the teachers of the law and the whole Sanhedrin, they made their plans. So they bound Jesus, they led him away, and they handed him over to Pilate. "Are you the king of the Jews?" asked Pilate. "You have said so," Jesus replied. The chief priest accused him of many things. So Pilate again asked him, "Aren't you going to answer? See how many things that they are accusing you of." But Jesus still made no reply, and Pilate was amazed. Now it was the custom of the festival to release a prisoner whom the people requested. There was a man called Barabbas who was in the prison. The crowd came up and asked Pilate to do for them what he usually did. "Do you want me to release to you the king of the Jews?" asked Pilate, knowing that it was out of self-interest that the chief priest had handed Jesus over to him. The crowd surprised him, and they said, "No, release Barabbas instead." "What shall I do then with the one that you call the king of the Jews?" Pilate asked them. "Crucify him," they shouted. "Why? What has he done? What crime has he committed?" asked Pilate. But they shouted all even louder, for the chief priest had stirred them up. "Crucify him, crucify him." Wanting to satisfy the crowd, Pilate released Barabbas to them. He had Jesus flogged and handed him over to be crucified. After they mocked him, they took off the robe and put his own clothes upon him. Then they led him away. As they were going out, they met a man from Cyrene named Simon, and they forced him to carry the cross. They came to a place called Golgotha, which means the place of the skull. There they offered Jesus wine to drink, mixed with gall. But after tasting it, he refused to drink it. When they had crucified him, they divided up his clothes by casting lots, and sitting down, they kept watch over him there. Above his head, they placed a written charge against him. "This is Jesus, the King of the Jews." 2 rebels were crucified with him, one on his right and one on his left. Those who passed by hurled insults at him, shouting at him, saying, you who were going to destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself. Come down from that cross if you are really the Son of God." In the same way, the chief priests, the teachers of the law, and the elders mocked him too. "He saved others," they said, "but he cannot even save himself. He is the King of Israel. Let him come down now from that cross, and then we will believe him. He trusts in God. Let God rescue him now if he wants him. For he was the one who said, I am the Son of God. It was now about noon, and darkness had come over the whole land until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, for the sun had stopped shining, and the curtain of the temple was torn in two. Jesus called out with a loud voice, Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. When he had said this, he breathed his last. Amen.